What's up, world? You are welcome to Next Telly. Today is another beautiful Monday. I'm going to be discussing How to Be a Nigerian by Peter Enahoro. I hope I got this name right. This book is so interesting. It was written in 1966, so it was originally written in 1966. It's really old. I bought this book believing that it was going to be like really funny, and I don't know. I just thought there would be so much to talk about. So first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nez. If this is your first time, thank you so much for coming. Every Monday and Friday we have a new content here talking about book where we're just trying to get everybody to read more. So thank you. Welcome to the community, and please subscribe to join the community further, and then leave a comment below about what you think about what we're doing here. Thank you so much. Of course, subscribers, well, thank you so much. So before I start, I wanted to just talk a bit of a thing happening. In the past 3 or 4 days, there's been protests going around in Nigeria about the end SARS. Now, anybody that might know absolutely nothing about this, like if you're not in Nigeria and you want to know, SARS is a special anti-robbery squad here in Nigeria. They were created specifically to handle things like robbery around the communities. But in recent times, or not necessarily recently actually, because this is not the first time this is happening, the SARS, that squad has been very problematic to a lot of people. Personally, thankfully, I've never experienced them, at least not like that. But I've heard so many things. I have nephews and nieces that have run into SARS. I'm talking of people that will just meet you on the road. First of all, a lot of times they don't wear their uniforms. A lot of times, sometimes at night, they're even drunk. I don't know if you understand. So it's very disturbing. My niece was just telling me recently about how one day SARS stopped her and my other nieces, there were 3 of them together, and they took her phone from her, told her to open it and start looking through her pictures and looking through her messages, just those type of things. And they claim is that they look through those things to find out whether you're a fraud or not. Now, this, to an extent, as crazy as that sounds, it's very crazy. The assumption is that if they do get a fraudster, someone that does that, the assumption is that they would at least let the person maybe face the law or whatever. No, they just end up extorting people. So for the strangest, craziest reasons, guys, I'm talking of like people wearing locks on their hair. They're getting arrested for having locks on their hair, for having iPhones, guys. People that have iPhones, they say that the person is a fraudster. How can he afford an iPhone? If you pick up a guy with a car, some certain kind of cars, like I heard recently that a Mercedes Benz, they see a young boy with a Mercedes Benz, how can he afford Mercedes Benz? And the person gets arrested. It gets really bad. The stories are crazy. There are stories of rape, stories of the collecting money side. That one is so normal. They can pick your phone and look at your account balance on your phone and just say, okay, since you have 400,000 in your account, you have to give them 150 from it. Money that they don't know anything about, they don't care. So it's quite a situation. So what I would say to a lot of Nigerians, a lot of people, especially on social media, have talked about how they don't even see the point to what's happening. I will just say that it's good. It's not bad that you don't see what's happening. Maybe you're like me and it happened to you personally, but you know that when it comes to police brutality and the unfairness that we experience with police, it's true. We know that exists. So what the protest is doing is bringing about change for that. If you don't agree that SARS should end, or you don't agree that our system is going to help, maybe you should stay away from the way, so that those that can do something can do something. It's a Japanese saying. Those that believe that it cannot be done should stay away, so that those that are trying to do it, they should do it, so they'll be able to do it. It's not said exactly that, but that's what it is. So that's what's happening on the streets of Nigeria. It's been getting a lot of clout. The NSARS hashtag was trending on Friday and on Saturday, and I'm so thankful that we're really taking to the streets and see to it that this thing really happens. I really, like, at this point, I'm really praying that it just happens. Today is Monday. We heard on Sunday evening that there was a notice that was brought out, or there was a letter written out saying that SARS has been dissolved, that they've dissolved SARS, that they will get all the members of SARS to join the other police. But it's like it's like reshuffling, and they are going to stand their own squad, another set of people that will now take care of anti-robbery. And the question I always used to ask a lot of times, so there was a bit of a lockdown in Nigeria in Lagos, Nigeria, that's where I am, for about 3 weeks or so in the month of April. And during those times, a lot of estates were terrorized by armed robbers. Like, it was really bad. Some people had to be taking turns. Civilians had to take turns to protect themselves, because the armed robbers were not. Some would come during the day. It didn't matter when. Usually, you used to have robberies happening at night. During broad daylight, people walk into people's houses and steal things and go. And I don't know where this so special anti-robbery squad was. So I just keep wondering, okay, so what were they, if they're really doing their work, other than meeting young people on the road, young men and women on the road, and saying, how can you afford, I'm telling you, it's crazy. Some people, they say, how come you have 2 phones? How can you afford 2 phones? It's fraud. Okay, so to the book. It's so good we're talking about this in this thing, but honestly, this needs to be discussed, and something needs to be done. I am so thankful for this protest that is going on right now, and I believe change is going to happen very soon. So, How to Be a Nigerian. This book was written in 1966. This book is wonderful, and I let me say, because of how old it is, it was written very suited for that time. Do you understand? A lot of the jokes, a lot of the things there was a lot of sarcasm in it. A lot of sarcasm in it was geared towards that time. So a lot of things that now I just feel like it's not that big a deal were things that were there. But what I think I enjoyed about this book is that it kind of gave me a nice idea as to where some things came from, or how long some things have only existed, things that we kind of consider problems or hilarious here in Nigeria, like what we call the Nigerian time. Apparently Nigerian time has existed since. That just comes with the fact that we don't see why we should be rushed to do something. So I just wanted to talk a bit about. I just have like 3 or 4 things I want to talk about when he talked about the etiquette. I think this etiquette one I find very this one reaches home for me personally. A lot of us growing up, when we're younger, when we went to people's houses, our parents would tell us not to collect food. They warn us. They say when you go there and they ask you for food, don't take food there. And it was one of those things that always made me wonder, like, what is the point? And sometimes, okay, this never actually happened to me, but sometimes some people say that they were actually hungry, like they didn't eat at home. So it's like you go, and Nigerians were like, we do party, we host people. Someone can just come to visit and decide to cook food and add the person to the food, so the person can sit there. So like cook for the kids, and so like someone can come with like 3. We're 5 in my house, so like someone can come with 5 kids, and someone will decide to feed all 5 of us. Those kind of things can happen. But your mom will say, no, don't collect food. Do you understand? So it's one of those things that I just couldn't understand why. And a lot of people is that they used to be hungry. Sometimes they'll come, they've played so hard and they're tired and they're hungry, and mommy said no, they shouldn't eat. So I always wondered why. What was the point? What I used to assume it was that maybe it kind of gave the impression that you're a well-trained child. Reading this book, basically what it actually says is that you're trying to give them the impression that you're not hungry, where you're coming from, you ate. Because apparently what they used to say was that if somebody came to your house and if someone came to your house and you take food immediately, it gives the impression that you came there hungry, even if you came there hungry. I don't quite know, like the way you observe, the way you look is just very interesting. So that's number 1. Number 2 is where he talked about compromise. This compromise one really wowed me, because he actually went on to talk about how the way the Nigerian diplomat acts outside the country, because they're trying to form some kind of compromise in the way who you are. You tend to take the back seat when it comes to taking decisions. So like when major conversations need to be had, I'm talking of Nigerian diplomats who will go to a world stage where there are other countries sitting down talking about their issues, and the Nigerian diplomats would rather keep quiet. Keep quiet, believing that their greatness is in being quiet. I don't quite know what that's about, but that's what this guy said. Another thing is the dash. I think the word dash, I was wondering where the word, dash me money, dash me something. The dash word actually came from what we call the tip. The American people, British people call tip. Basically, what we call the tip is like the dash. But the thing is that we've gotten to a point now where everybody wants to be dashed something for something. But apparently this has always existed, even in 1966. 1966 was a year before the civil, aka Biafra War, was fought. Then the morning game I found very funny. That one just has to be like, this one I think hits home for me personally. I lost my dad not too long ago, and I just remember thinking that when I was running around to do things concerning the funeral, people would come to the house, then get upset that there was nobody in the house to be with them. And the most annoying part is now that the person comes to your house, then you have to sympathize with the person for coming to mourn somebody that died in your house. I don't know if that makes any sense to you. Like, if I lost my mom, imagine if I lost imagine when I lost my mom. I was very young, but imagine if I lost my mom just now. And I'm sitting down and I'm like, I'm mourning. I lost someone that's very important to me. Usually I will assume people that come to my life are like coming to check, how are you doing? Is everything okay? Don't worry, trying to make things easy for you. But these people come and get upset that you went there, maybe you went into the room, you did not talk to them. They don't quite understand that you're here to mourn. They're like, hey, we came to mourn. So it's like, more often than not, you that they came to your house, you now have to start telling them, okay, sorry, don't worry. Anyway, the morning game. Apparently this has existed ever since. There are different interesting theories as to how this is what it is. So yeah, those are the 4 things I wanted to talk about. And that I wanted to mention was the bureaucrats. I think the bureaucrats one I found very funny. Let me see what I wrote about this one. There was a place where he said the bureaucrat. He said bureaucracy is the act of officialdom by officials for the sake of officialdom. One of the things I think happen a lot if you're working in anything that concerns Nigerian civil service, oh my god, long thing. Some things are supposed to be kind of simple, like just go from here. If you want to get this, go from here to here. But sometimes in Nigeria, when you go to the office, you want to pick something from somewhere, they tell you, oh, from there, go there, from there, you go here, drop this, just to pick something. I remember when I tried to get, I think it was when I was trying to get the original NEPA card, after they had changed me from postpaid to prepaid. Oh lord. I don't know if any of you have been to that building in Alausa. That building in Alausa, their major building, I walked up and down that building like 4 times because they say go from this office, collect pink slip, come to this office, collect brown slip, meet this person. And somewhere in between, one person will now say it's time for break and the person will go. All of us will now sit down there and wait for the person. The person will now come back. Break has finished. What do you want? You now, it drives me crazy. But that's what the bureaucracy, that's the extra thing I put inside it. Okay, so generally my thought on this book, I felt like this Peter Enahoro did not write like, honestly, halfway through the book, I was like, this man Nigerian. He felt like he was writing from outside. It felt very like as if he was speaking through the nose, like this is how they do. I'm not trying to compare, but I'm going to just put it beside Elnathan John's Becoming Nigerian. Becoming Nigerian, Elnathan John talked like we. Now, like I said, I'm not comparing. Elnathan John's book was written literally about 4 years ago. This was written, so it's like, not doctor, this is who we are, this is how we tend to be. This man talks like this is how they are, this is how they behave. So it's like, I'm like, did this man actually read this book? I started doing some research on him. I found out he's written some other book. He wrote a book in 1994, wrote another one in 2000 and something. I've forgotten all their names. Sadly, as you can see, I don't have lights, so I can't even do any fast search. If I put on my generator, nobody will hear anything here. Anyway, this book is really nice. It's a 1,000 naira book. I bought it at Robin Heights. It's also available on Amazon. I mean, I think it's a good book. It didn't give me the vibe I thought I was going to get. I told you about what I'm trying to do in October and all that. It didn't give me the vibe I was hoping to get, but I still think it's an interesting book. I think it's a good way of figuring out why we do some of the things that we do. This book actually seems to touch that somewhere. So yeah, it's if you're interested in that, read it. Personally, I wasn't thrilled by it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I don't know, leave a comment below. What do you think it takes to be a Nigerian? I'd like to know what's your Nigerian experience has been like. What is it that what happens to you? Okay, another thing he talked about Lagos. Can I see if I can find that Lagos thing? That Lagos one I found very funny. He said being a Lagosian, where he said the thing about being a Lagosian. Okay, I think I found it. He said there's a popular Nigerian saying that to go to Lagos from your home village is not difficult. It is the return that is war, and this is very true. I agree. If I tell my Lagos story, I think one of these days I'll tell you guys my Lagos story. That's just how it is. I came here to do something, and that's how I've been stuck here for years. So I think I liked that. So if you've been in Lagos, let me know what your Lagos story is in the comment section. Then what's it like? What do you think being a Nigerian is? Leave it below. I think that's something that we need to figure it out. Let's figure out what the Nigerian dream is or what it's supposed to be. Leave a comment below. Let me know what's up. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video. There's a thumbs up there. Please use it. Thank you. Then subscribe if you haven't, and bye bye.